Welcome back, guys, to another video. And today we're just going to be talking about arguably the worst UFC weight class division in history. Really of any sport, to be honest. And that is, of course, the UFC's heavyweight division. I'm just going to be breaking down, going over why it is so bad and it's complete and disaster. Plus, it's just something that needs to be addressed. People need to understand this weight class arguably should be removed, which would be a complete shame because there's so much talented fighters in the heavyweight division, and a lot of them could never make weight at light heavyweight, or they don't want to fight in another promotion where they get paid significantly less. So we're going to talk about the disaster of it and how all the significant categories that go and take a play into this. So starting out, and the reason I'm making this video is due to the stuff that we've been hearing about Tom Aspinall, which we'll just start right now. Aspinall just had surgery a week ago, or less than a week ago, both his eyes, and it was not a good result. After surgery, it was revealed that he can barely do anything. He can barely train. He can barely read. He can't even drive, meaning he's a big liability to his family. He has a wife and 3 kids right now. He's unable to do all these normal things that he used to do before the accident. He can barely send text messages. He says it hurts his eyes if he sends too much text messages. This is really bad, and it looks like he's going to be stripped of the title, and that is a huge disappointment. I mean, it's actually horrible, man. That would mean the last 3 champions have been stripped of the title or vacated. Yeah, that's really bad. That's a huge reason why the division is just falling, and it's terrible. First category we'll go into is Aspinall's hurt, not active. First of all, it was already screwed up. Aspinall should have been the champion years ago, and they didn't crown him, they didn't officially claim him as the champion until last year in 2025. In his first ever title defense, he gets his eye poked out and ends in a no contest. I mean, how unfortunate is that, guys? That is horrible. It's super unfortunate. No one wants to see that. Everyone was very disappointed because that fight was really close before it ended. And only was lasted for 4 minutes, I'm pretty sure. And it was going really good, and it was very entertaining. But then it had to be ruined by that double eye poke. I mean, how rare is that? I mean, what is going on? So that was super inconvenient for all the fans who paid their hard money to go to that event. And super inconvenient to just all the fans who were watching in general from their homes. I mean, it was terrible. I mean, I was very bummed out because that fight was really good, and I was expecting a really good fight too, because it was our first real heavyweight title fight. Because last one Jones was fighting a 40-year-old man, and the other one was years ago. So yeah, it's just very, very unfortunate because who knows if Aspinall will ever fight again. There's been literally no improvement of his eye from what he's been hearing, and we may never see Tom Aspinall fight again. I mean, that is crazy to think about. All I know, there's no way he's going to be back anytime soon. It's gonna be very, very confusing to matchmake the heavyweight division. Plus, I heard that the heavyweight division is at a record-breaking low of how many people are even fighting in it. There's less than 40 fighters even in the division, which is the lowest ever recorded in UFC history in any division ever of how many fighters are, have a contract that are in the division. It's crazy. So they broke a record for a record they don't want to break. That's terrible. Second category. John Jones barely ever fought, and he was hurt, and he ducked Aspinall for years, and he only fought once in the span of 500 days. Yeah, it's absolutely horrible and pathetic of him, and it's a disgrace. We don't need to talk too much in this because we've been over this, kind of old news now, but it is very significant for this video particularly. Yeah, we can go into a little bit. John Jones, comes in, he moves up to heavyweight in early 2023, fights Rogan and completely destroys him, submits him in less than 2 minutes. That was an incredible performance. No one's ever done that to Rogan. Yeah, everyone thought the heavyweight division was really good now. We have John Jones, the GOAT. He's the champion. Who would not want to see that? Little people know. He then called out Stipe Miocic, who's literally over 40 years old, hasn't fought in years, got knocked out last time he fought, and there's just no way he'd be back to himself, and he'd be very good. And he was not in any contend. He was not at all a contender for the belt at that time because he hasn't fought in years, and he did not deserve a title shot. However, Dana White just bowed down to his will because he glazes him like more than any other fighter. I don't know why he glazes him so much. I mean, everyone's seen the memes and the rails of how much Dana White glazed John Jones. I've never understood it. I mean, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes between them, but it's not good and it's corrupt. And yeah, he just did everything John Jones asked for and wanted, and just didn't care about the fans or the sake of his own company. He put himself and John Jones before the company and the fans. It was absolutely horrible. Yeah. So what happened? He was supposed to fight Stipe that year in late 2023 at Madison Square Garden, and then Jones gets hurt like 2 weeks before. Breaks his collarbone, I think, or something in his neck. I don't remember. So then he's out. He has to get surgery. They already said he's probably going to be out until late summer of 2025. And then he gets another injury. I think pretty sure we see him in a cast early 2025. So it's just looking horrible. Division's looking terrible. No, early 2024. Now the division's just looking terrible, and it's just crazy. We have an inactive champion. So yeah, I didn't even get into it. On November 2023, since Jones was out when he was supposed to fight on that card, they made an interim heavyweight title fight with Tom Aspinall and Sergey Pavlovich, and Aspinall won in dramatic fashion and became the interim champion. So that means he's guaranteed the next title shot. Nope, Jones says no. He runs away from his whole career. Aspinall was the clear number one contender. He was the interim champion, which means you're literally that's an automatic number one contender, but you're automatically supposed to get the next title shot. They did not care. Dana White did not care. Every fan was talking about this. This was the most talked about conversation in the UFC for literally almost 3 years, was just let Jones and Tom fight. That was the fight everyone wanted to see. And we never got it because Jones was too scared, and he didn't want to lose. He wanted to retire undefeated. So of course he fights Stipe the next November in 2024. And beats him, of course. He didn't even look that great. He looked pretty slow, but he beat him because, and that's not a surprise at all because it's Stipe Miocic, push 40. Stipe looked horrible. He was so slow, and he just needed to retire. And he did retire. Jones said he might give the fans what he wants to see in his post-fight interview, and we never got to see it. Then he just retires next year in 2025, and just completely screwed all of us over. And Dana White does not care because he's just a greedy rich man. So that was one of the biggest failures I've ever seen in any combat sports company, probably the biggest failure. And I will never forgive Dana White for this. I do not like Dana White that much. I think he's handled other stuff good in the past, but this was just absolutely horrible. And it cannot be forgotten or forgiven. So those of you who forgot, that's a good reminder. Do not just let this go and forget that was absolutely horrible and pathetic of all of them who were involved with this happening. Well, and you can't ever respect John Jones for this either. He was absolutely horrible. So then they finally grant Aspinall the champ, and you know what happens from there. And then we move on to another topic. There's only been 3 heavyweight fights, heavyweight title fights in the last 4 years. Yeah, that's true. That's really bad. It's a very boring division. Nothing is going on. The matching is going on. Another thing to bring up, when Jones was never fighting, the whole division was stocked up because they didn't think it was even useful for them to fight because they weren't going to get a title shot anyway, because Aspinall wasn't even going to get the whole division was on pause because of John Jones' little hitchy fail, because he just wanted to fight Stipe and not lose. It's all John Jones' fault, and it's all Dana White's fault. It all reflects back on Dana White. They take the blame for this. Greedy old men. So yeah, 3 heavyweight title fights. Just another example of Jones' doing and how this happened. I don't think this is Tom Aspinall's fault. It's really not. It's not his fault. He got his eye poked. So it's really just reflects on John Jones' fault. So John Jones and Dana White are the complete blame for this, guys. They take all the credit for this embarrassment. And yeah, this video just wanted to let people know you can't forget about this complete failure. this is all Dana White's fault, and it's all John Jones's fault. Remember that, guys. Do not let this go. He should still, they both should still be receiving tons of hate. And yeah, if it's up to me, do not let John Jones fight in the White House car. Don't let him do anything. He didn't deserve that. However, Dana White's working with him. Now, for money's sake, you would want him in. Because ironically, in my last video, I wanted John Jones to fight Alex Pereira on the White House card. That is due to money and business tactics. But this is assuming I would not have, if I was the Dana White and the CEO, I would never let John Jones do this. I would have stripped him of the title so soon, like back in like 2023 probably. So yeah, this video was just to acknowledge and, you know, address the issue going on right here, and just to let people not forget the complete failure that's been going on with this cursed division. I mean, this division is truly cursed. I don't understand what is wrong with it. I really hope we finally get it recovered and back to the way it was before. It'd be really nice, because it's just, honestly, we have 7 out of 8 divisions going on with the men's divisions, and we're just missing a division, and I miss the heavyweight division, guys. I truly miss it. So anyways, that will do it for this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, turn on notifications if you're new. Feel free to comment about anything you want. And yeah, thank you guys for all the support. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys.